Therese Imeranya, ang inyong tagapagpanayam ngayong araw na ito. Narito po tayo sa ating programang pinamagatang Pagkamulat, an online Filipino exhibit, kung saan makakasama natin ang isa sa pinakatanyag na tagapagpahayag sa ating bansa. Siya po ay lubos na kilala bilang isang Filipino broadcast journalist, television news anchor, senior field correspondent, magazine show host, radio anchor, and newspaper columnist. Siya rin ay papanood tuwing linggo sa isang Philippine television newscast show at siya rin ang may bahay ni former Secretary of the Interior and Local Government, Mar Rojas. Halina't sabay-sabay nating salubungin ang nag-iisang Miss Corina Sanchez. Nako naman, maraming salamat sa iyo, Binibining Paola, at sa inyong programa. Ako po ay lubos na nagagalak at ako ay inyong napaunlakan upang makiisa sa pagbuo ng ating kauna-unahang episode na estilong online Filipino exhibit. Ngunit bago tayo dumako sa pangunahing bahagi nitong ating programa, alamin muna natin, bakit nga ba ito pinamagatang Pagkamulat? Sa wikang Ingles, ito ay nangangahulugang awakening. Kaugnay nito, ang ating programa ay naglalayon na makapagbigay kaalaman sa ating mga manonood patungkol sa ating kasaysayan. Upang lubos nating maunawaan ang ating kasaysayan, ating balikan at tuklasin ang talambuhay ng ilan sa mga prominenteng Pilipino sa pamamagitan ng isang roundtable discussion. Kung mayroon naman kayong katanungan, mag-comment lamang sa ating Facebook Live o di kaya magpadala ng mensahe sa ating staff. Ngunit bago yan, halina't ating kilalanin ang isa sa mga batikanang na artist at curator na naging tagapagtatag ng kasibulan. Narito si Maria Beatriz So upang ipakilala sa ating si Ginang Imelda Kahipe Endaya. Muli, ako po ang inyong kaibigan, kabalitaan at kakampi, Corina Sanchez Rojas. Handa na ba kayo?
Good day everyone! My name is Maria Beatrizo and I want to thank you all for taking the time to join us today as we take you back to get to know these prominent people from our past and present for our future generations. Allow me to give you a background about my character, Mrs. Imelda Kahipe Endaya. Her curiosity in the arts started at an early age when she would visit Paite, Laguna, where her parents grew up. These trips heavily influenced her love for folk arts such as wood carving, paper mache, and antique saint figures. She finished the Bachelor of Fine Arts in UP in the 70s, where she also took up graduate studies of art history and criticism. But Manteps, as her friends and family fondly calls her, is not just a contemporary artist, but also an advocate, which you can see in her canvases. Her work speaks about gender, identity, race, nation, migration, displacement, and globalization coming from the point of view of a conscious Filipino. Gaining awards and critically acclaimed not just here in the Philippines but also abroad. Ladies and gentlemen, let us all welcome a visual artist, cultural worker, history researcher, author, and curator, none other than Mrs. Imelda Kahipe Endaya.
Good day, and thank you, Beatrice, for that very rich introduction. As you all know, I like being labeled as a social realist, a feminist, and so much more, because my art are usually politically inclined and tackles the problem of the Filipinos such as poverty, labor export, human rights violation during the dictatorship of Marcos regime, imperialism from the point of view of a woman and a mother. I hope the young ones can find time to visit Metropolitan Museum where one of my landmarks works are exhibited, the Pasyong Bayan. It's one of my most memorable as agony and ecstasy are my most remembered emotion when I did that masterpiece. It speaks a lot about the struggles of our countrymen during the dictatorship. I wanted to share with you all a video presentation about some of our Filipino figures, and hopefully we will be able to relive their contribution to our society. I hope you are all just as excited as I am, as I will feature the actual presentation of their speeches. Without further ado, let us focus our attention on our Filipino figures for their narratives in the challenge of creating social change.
In the province of Moro, nobody supports the right path for the oppressed poor who are like us. Ageda kahabagan Ian Quinto, your Generala Ageda, a member of the Katipunan, who fought in the Philippine Revolution and the Philippine-American War.
Isang supremo. Isa akong aktibong tagapagtaguyod sa kampo para sa ustisya, kalayaan at pantay-pantay na mga tao. Tagapagtatag ng katipunan. Nangangahulugang kataas-taasang kagalang-galangang katipunan ng mga anak ng bayan. Ako, si Therese Bonifacio, ang ama ng himagsikan. Mabuhay ang Pilipinas! Mabuhay ang katipunan!
Ako po si Antonio Narciso Luna de San Pedro Inovicio Ancheta, mas kilala bilang Antonio Luna. Ipinanganak noong Oktubre 29 taong 1866. Ako ay isang siyentipiko at sundalo na nabuhay noong ika-19 na siglo. Kilala ako bilang isang general na mainitin ang ulo, mahilig magmura at sa pagkikipagdigmaan laban sa mga Amerikano. Noong taong 1899, sa edad na 31, ako ay pinagtataga at pinagbabaril ng aking kapwa Filipinong sundalo at ito ang resulta ng aking pagkamatay.
Bilang presidente ng 6 na taon, tunay na nakita sa pamumuno ko ang sagana sa ekonomiya ng ating bansa. Dahil sa post-war, reconstruction, general economic gains at pagtaas ng US economic assistance. Ngunit, sa kabila nito, marami pa rin basic social issues noon ang hindi na-resolba, lalong-lalo na sa rural areas. At sa pamumuno ko ay nagkaroon ng widespread bribery at korupsyon, at totoo nga na pagkapanalo ko noon ay isang controversial dahil sa graph na pinahayag ni Magsaysay laban sa akin. Kaya nanalo si Magsaysay bilang presidente ng nasyonalista, ay bumalik ako sa simple at pribadong buhay.
Hi everyone, this is Irika Paran from the class of BS11. I am here to represent and give a speech to my chosen prominent Filipino people. She is a pediatrician and she is known as the woman of the first. And her name is Doctora Fe del Mundo. The main reason that she was called as a woman of first, it's because of her legacy. Even before she died, she was the first woman pediatrician to be admitted to Harvard Medical School in 1936, and second she was also a first woman to be named National Scientist of the Philippines in 1980. And also she founded the first pediatric hospital in the Philippines, the Children's Medical Center. But later on, the Children's Medical Center was named now in her name, Fe del Mundo Medical Center. And next was she was also credited with studies that lead to the invention of the first incubator and jaundice relieving device. And also she was also received the Elizabeth Blackwell Award as a woman doctor of the world renowned. And also she received the Ramon Magsaysay Award for outstanding public service, and also received the 15th International Congress of Pediatrics Award as the most outstanding pediatrician and humanitarian in 1977. So she nailed it because, and we all agree that she is a woman at first because she all did that own by her own, and that's the reason. Thank you.
Hi, I am Federico Isabelo Abaya. I was a member of the Espiritu de Candon, a revolutionary group in Candon, Ilocos Sur. I was born in 1854 in Candon, Ilocos Sur. On March 25, 1998, I led Lique de Candon, or known as Cry of Candon, and drove away the Spaniards from the town. Then I declared the Free Republic of Candon. It later served in the Philippine Revolutionary Army under Colonel Manuel Tino. I recruited Igorots, led my recruits in the Battle of Caloocan in February 1899. The start of the Filipino-American War. I became a guerrilla commander at forces in southern Ilocos under Colonel Juan Villamor.
Ako si Maria Josefa Gabriela Caridnio Silang, Tubong Ilocos. Ako ay sinilang sa panahong hindi malaya ang aking bayan. Mga panahong ang babae ay babae lang. Pero para sa kalagayan ng bansa, hindi lamang kalalakihan ang kayang lumaban. Babae ako, at ako ang gagawa ng aking kasaysayan.
Ako si Gregoria de Jesus, ang kabiyak ng dibdib ng Supremo ng Katipunan na si Andres Bonifacio. Kilala rin ako bilang ina ng Katipunan at ng Himagsikan. Mahalaga ang aking tungkulin sa Katipunan. Ako ang taga-ingat ng mga mahalagang kasulatan at pinamahalaan ko rin ang pagpapakain at pagpapagamot sa mga minalas na nasugatang kasapi ng Katipunan.
Buenos dias, senyor, senyora. Isinuwalat ko sa aking mga nobela kung ano talaga ang totoo sa likod ng ating bansa. Inilahad ko ang kawawang kalagayan ng ating minamahal na Pilipinas. Hindi ko hangaring magkaroon ng revolusyon. Ang nais ko lamang ay maging pantay ang karapatan ng mga Pilipino katulad ng sa mga Espanyol. Nais ko rin magkaroon ng pagkakataong makapag-aral ang Filipinong kabataan sa mga dekalidad na paaralan upang sa gayon sila ay magkaroon ng marangyat, magandang kinabukasan. Ako, si Jose Rizal, at nagsasabing kayong mga kabataan ang pag-asa ng bayan. Palaguin ang inyong kaalaman at mahalin ng buong puso ang ating inang bayan. Huwag matakot ipaglaban ang ating kalayaan. Muchas gracias. Adios.
Magandang araw. Ako, si Juan Luna. Kilala ako bilang isang pintor. Ang aking mga dakilang obra ay ang Spolarium at ang Cleopatra. Sa paraan ng pagpinta, ay nakuha kong ilarawan ang mga kaganapang nangyari sa aking bansa upang wakasan na ang kalupitang ginagawa ng mga Espanyol laban sa mga kapwa Pilipino at upang maging malaya na ang aking bansa laban sa mga dayuhang mananakaw.
Ako si Liliosa Hilaw, isang Pilipinong aktivista na nag-aral ng Communication Arts sa pamantasan ng lungsod ng Maynila. Isa akong editor sa papel ng aking universidad na tinatawag na HASI. Madalas ako may karamdaman kaya't hindi ako sumali noon sa mga protesta ng mag-aaral. Gayunpaman, ipinakita ko ang aking mga opinyon sa pamamagitan ng pagsusulat para sa aking student paper sa PLN. Isa sa aking mga gawa ay ang Democracy is Dead in the Philippines under martial law. Ito ay nagpapahiwatig ng aking paninindigan sa batas militar. Nagsimula ako magsuot ng itim bilang isang tanda ng aking pagluluksa at hindi ako natatakot na ipahayag ito sa anumang uri ng paraan. Ako ay pinatay habang nasa ilalim ng detensyon ng gobyerno ng martial law at nakilala bilang unang bilanggo na namatay sa detensyon sa ilalim ng batas militar sa Pilipinas.
I am Manuel Tino. I became the youngest general of the Philippine Revolutionary Army in 1897 at the age of 20. I was designated as the commanding general of operations at the same year when I became a general. I pursued my high school studies at San Juan de Letran. Along with Pantaleon Valmonte and Mariano Llanera, I am one of those to be considered as the three fathers of the cry of Nueva Ecija. In 1907, I was also elected as the governor of the province of Nueva Ecija.
Ina ng Katipunan, yon ang tawag nila. Isa ako sa tumutulong sa mga katipunero kapag kailangan. Ginagawa nilang tagpuan ang aking bahay kapag mayroon silang pagtitipon. Kahit ganoon ay handa akong tanggapin at tulungan sila. Mga panahon na napapalaban sila, nariyan ako upang tulungan at gamutin ang mga nasugatan. Nahuli man ako ng mga gwardya sibil, hindi ako magsasalita. Saktan ninyo ako ng saktan, wala akong ibibigay na impormasyon tungkol sa katipunan. Alam ko ang prinsipyo ko, alam ko ang pinaglalaban ko, kaya hanggang pagkamatay ko sa edad na 107 ay hindi magbabago ang pananaw ko. Tandang Sora.
I am Miss Nieves Fernandez from Tacloban, Leyte. My student described me as loving, overprotective, and a motherly instinct teacher. I don't want anyone to threaten the lives of my students. That's why my life was upturned when the Japanese invaded my country in 1941. From a loving teacher, I became an assassin. At the age of 38, I killed 200 soldiers during the World War II. I hate them. They took all of the possession of my fellow Filipino. No one is allowed to own business and no one is allowed to teach except for those who are approved by Imperial Japan. So this made me fight independently for my fellow Filipino. Using my shotgun, jungle bolo, and improvised gun, wearing an all-black attire and no footwear, so that they will not hear me. I am the silent killer who killed Japanese soldiers every night in the forest. After that, I decided to become a guerrilla teacher, and they now call me Captain Fernandez. The Japanese were very angry at me. That's why they decided to whoever people who will find me will have a 10,000 reward. But they failed, since no one tells them where I am. I know my fellow Filipino used their mind. That 10,000 is not worth it, but the freedom and the right is more important. I am your silent killer, a teacher, and a captain.
Ako si Pura Villanueva Calao, isang manunulat, negosyante, at patron ng sining na umaagapay sa kapwa babaeng manunulat. Bilang feminista, ipinaglalaban ko ang pantay na karapatan ng mga kababaihan at naniniwala akong Ang tahimik at mahinhin na Maria Clara ay hindi ang tunay na nilarawan ng babaeng Pilipina, kundi ang mga babaeng may ipinaglalaban at may paninindigan hanggang sa huli. Naniniwala rin akong ang kayang gawin ng kalalakihan ay gayon din kayang gawin ng kababaihan.
Ang paglilingkod sa bayan ay hindi nabibilang kung ilang taon, kung hindi kung ano ang magagawa mo sa bayan.
Kung ito'y ikamamatay ng maliit niyong lingkod at alipin na si Magsaysay, hindi baling mamatay ako dito sa panahon na ito.
One of the reasons that I am fighting for is the right to be myself. I am Remedios Gomez Paraiso, also known as Commander Liwayway, and the Joan of Arc of the Philippines. When my father, who was then Vice Mayor of Mexico, Pampanga, was tortured and murdered, I was outraged and vowed to seek revenge. I then joined the Hukbalak Hub and eventually becoming one of the highest ranking officers. I led many different battles in the provinces of Tarlac, Zamboanga, and Pampanga. I was often criticized about my appearance during battles, but I always showed them that my appearance has nothing to do with my skills. I am a woman who broke many different traditional gender norms without losing my femininity in the process. My fight was to not only drive away the Japanese forces, but to also seek for freedom, democracy, and liberation from social injustices. Gender has nothing to do with wit and abilities. We have our own equal rights and responsibilities in our society, especially in the battlefield.
Isinilang noong 18 ng Nobyembre, taong 1848 sa isang mariwasang angkan sa San Miguel de Mayumo, Bulacan, ako si Trinidad Perez Tecson, kilala bilang ina ng biyak na bato at ina ng wika, at lumaban upang makamit ang kalayaan ng Pilipinas. Binigyan din ako ng titulo ni General Emilio Aguinaldo at kinilala bilang ina ng Philippine National Red Cross para sa aking paglilingkod sa aking mga kapwa Katipunero.
Thank you everyone for participating in today's activity. I hope you learned a thing or two by listening to their stories of heroism and their common love for our country. All of us have a common goal, which is to explore and experience the world. But as a Filipino, we should always ask ourselves, ano ba talaga ang ibig sabihin ng pagka-Filipino? In one of my past interviews, I spoke about how my art is a conversation with material and that I like using that material as a statement. In life, challenges always arise, but if empowerment among our countrymen is a collective effort, we will overcome anything that will come our way. Let's not live in fear and make a stand for our future generations, be it in art form or our choices in life. Like in my art, all my pieces always end up with hope that despite our circumstances, we can always find a solution to our problems.
Maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat. Ngunit bago tayo magtapos ng ating programa, ay mayroon lamang tayong mga katanungan mula sa ating mga manonood. Paalala po lamang, ang mga katanungan na ito ay mula sa mga manonood na hindi nais ipabatid ang kanilang mga pangalan. Ang unang katanungan po natin ay para kay Ginang Agueda Kahabagan. Ang tanong po ay, Ginang Kahabagan, what is your role in the Philippine history?
I am the woman who fear nothing, the only officially listed woman general during the Philippine Revolution of 1896 to 1898 and Filipino-American War of 1899 to 1902. I was commissioned by General Miguel Malvar to lead 800 troops of men armed with rifles and daggers. My most renowned battle was on October 1897. General Artemio Ricarte and I joined in a 3-day attack on San Pablo Garrison in Laguna. I was riding a horse with my favorite rifle in one hand and a ball on the other. General Pio del Pilar granted me the title of General on January 4, 1899, and I am arrested by the American forces in January 1902.
Maraming salamat po para sa sagot na yon, Ginang Agueda. Ang sunod naman pong tanong natin ay para kay Ginoong Andres Bonifacio. Ang tanong po dito ay, what association did you join back in your days?
In 1892, founded in Katipunan of Manila, modeling its organization and ceremony of that Masonic order. Di kataas-taasang kagalang-galangang katipunan ng mga anak ng bayan or which is called KKK. It is a supreme and venerable association of the children of the nation. It is founded by Filipino patriot Andres Bonifacio and others. It is a secret organization until it was discovered led to the outbreaks of the Philippine Revolution. In planning the revolution of Bonifacio, contacted Rizal for his full-fledged support for Katipunan exchange for a promise to Rizal for his detention. Bonifacio is the one who helped the Filipino people to become free from foreign conqueror by means of peacefully campaign.
Salamat po, Ginoong Andres Bonifacio, sa pagsagot ng katanungan na iyon. Dumako naman po tayo sa katanungan para kay Ginoong Manuel Tino. Ang tanong po dito ay, is it true that you are the youngest general in the Philippine Revolutionary Army?
That was a biggest misconception because June 24, 1898, when Gregorio del Pilar became a general and he was already 22 years old at that time, and I was already the commanding general of operations when he became a general.
Maraming salamat po, Ginoong Manuel Tino, at para sa huling katanungan natin ngayong araw na ito naman po ay nakalaan para kay Ginoong Elpidio Quirino. Mr. President, what can we expect from the United States in terms of help given the growing communist danger here in Asia?
We have President Truman's pledge as well as that of virtually all other responsible American officials, that the President will get all essential help in resisting any possible attack on us, from whatever direction. We require financial help in addition to military help to enable the prompt implementation of our economic development plans. If we can get our program off the ground, I'm confident that we can generate enough momentum to put the entire country on a path to economic stability.
Ayan, maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat. Nako, binabati ko po kayo para sa matagumpay na talakayan o roundtable discussion ngayong araw na ito. Tiyak ay marami sa ating mga manonood ang tuwang-tuwa sapagkat napakarami nilang natutunan ngayong araw na ito. Kung may kidaragdagan po kayong katanungan, ipadala lamang po sa ating email address na pagkamulat@gmail.com. Muli, ako po ang inyong kaibigan, kabalitaan at kakampi, Corina Sanchez Rojas. Back to you, Paola. At dito na nga po nagtatapos ang ating programa kung saan matutunghayan ang iba't ibang obra kaugnay ng sineng at naghampalipunan. Ngayong gabi ay nasilayan natin ang ilan sa mga magigiting at makabayan na Pilipino katulad na lamang nila Aguenda Kahabagan, Andres Bonifacio, Antonio Luna, Elpidio Quirino, Fe del Mundo, Federico Abaya, Gabriela Silang, Gregoria de Jesus, Jose Rizal, Leo Silaw, Manuel Quino, Melchora Aquino, Nieves Fernandez, Pura Villanueva Calao, Remedios Gomez Paraiso, at Trinidad Texon na maging si Ginang Imelda Kahipe Endaya. Nagpapatunay lamang na lahat tayo ay mayroong maaring maging ambag sa pangudlad ng Pilipinas. Tunay nga namang na napakarami pa natin pwedeng malaman ukol sa ating kasaysayan. Maraming salamat po sa inyong pagantabay at paalala lamang, huwag kalimutang gumamit ng face mask at umiwas sa matataong lugar. Ako po itong si Paola Therese Niola Imiranya mula sa Pagkamulat. Hanggang sa muli!